kind of circles us all the way back around to the main focus of where it is that you are in your emotions and thoughts. So when people exit our lives, when people are no longer a part of our lives, they leave pieces of themselves with us, right? In the forms of thoughts and memories, in the form of emotions, and in the form of behaviors, now new things that we do or don't do because they have influenced our life in a certain way. So that person, they leave that piece to you and they move on with their life. Now, what we do with that is our responsibility, right? What we do with the pieces of them that they leave with us is our responsibility. And I say that, not that a burden, right? It's not that, oh, they done left these things and now I got to figure out what to do with it, right? Is that they have left these things and I get to figure out what I do with it, right? We are not powerless in that. We have all the power in that because they left these things behind and they are doing, being, and having something else. And that is okay, because in that same way, you have the positive parts of yourself into someone else that they get to decide what to do with it, right? So I say put yourself on the other side, right? And typically when we have these relationships that are enmeshed in our emotions and our thoughts and our behaviors and our goals, right? We tend to be on the other side, but not really be aware that we are causing a similar effect in the other person, right? So let's say there's a thought that this other person has that causes them to be angry with you. What is your responsibility in that? Likewise, right? If there's some things that are inside of you that are causing you to be angry, right? There has to be a space where we let go of giving that other person the responsibility of transforming this anger, right? There has to be a space where we say, I can let them go, right? In that space, because they have no responsibility in me transforming this anger. And then when you let them go, when you give them the opportunity, what is truly theirs, to not be responsible for your behavior or your emotions or your thoughts, right? We can start to realize at some point that we don't need this anger. Right? We can let the anger go as well, because a lot of times the anger is a wishing and a hoping that this person could somehow undo what is already done. And we know that that is not possible. The truth is, there's no takesy backsy. They can't take back the parts of them that they have deposited in you, positive or negative, good or bad. They cannot take that back. That is yours to have. And it's yours to do something with or let it go. Right? So I hear you say, that I feel disappointed in um, in some behaviors and in some things that I'm now finding out, right? That were a part of my experience in the past. Um, you can allow that to affect you in a negative way, or you can say, that had to happen for me to now create a boundary, right, within my relationships, within myself, within the things that I know I deserve. That had to happen for me to learn new ways of communicating with people. That had to happen for me to now remember to trust my intuition, because I knew it all along that some foolishness was going on, right? That thing had to happen. Those things have to happen within your existence for you to learn how to protect yourself, how to take care of yourself, right? And you can still be grateful for what people have deposited in you, right? You can be grateful for the things, even if they weren't the best experiences. You can be grateful for those experiences that allowed you to change and to transform, right? Not that you have to say, give me more of the foolishness, but that you can be okay with the idea that I've had some experiences that transformed who I am, right? The second thing is that when they have deposited these parts of themselves in you, these parts become you. So when we're here disappointed and ticked off at that person, we're disappointed and ticked off at that part of them that they deposited in us. So we're truly disappointed and ticked off with ourselves. Right? Instead, it's an opportunity to love on ourselves. Right? To love on that part of ourselves. Every day of your life moving forward, this would have been a relationship that is in your past. Make sense? And when a feeling of disappointment comes up, let's say you go out in the real world and you're looking to do something and it doesn't turn out exactly how it is that you expect it to turn out. What the mind automatically does is that it reflects back on previous disappointments, right? And make that disappointment that we are experiencing in the moment something huge. You can miss your bus and feel disappointed, but then it's like, see, this is just how life is for me. Everything, right? When we develop a way to deal with the previous disappointment within this space, when we develop a way to say, yeah, I was disappointed in that moment, but look at all the things that I have gained from that moment, right? It allows it to be more of an automatic thought process that disappointment doesn't stop me, doesn't distract me from the goal, right? Could you imagine how many times the Wright brothers were disappointed? Now we have airplanes and rocket ships that go outside of our atmosphere, right? So if the great minds, and I say that your mind is no less or no more than anybody else's mind, right? It's just our ability to keep moving towards our goals that allows you to keep moving towards your goals. Um, that allows it to accomplish the goals that we're moving towards. Right. So as we address the healing, and as we address the idea that we can, right, let go of giving people the responsibility of creating a space within us, right? Because as soon as you say, hey, it's not his responsibility to make sure I'm experiencing these emotions and these thoughts about him, right? My responsibility. So now with that, I see the power in that, right? I'm not saying that you're not human, right? There's power also in allowing yourself the emotions that you have, right? Feel it and say, okay, there's some sadness here. But in sadness, I can show empathy. Okay, there's some anger here, right? In anger, I can see, I can see some commonality, right? So it's an opportunity to see yourself in a different way. It's an opportunity to take control over the spaces that you create on the inside. It's an opportunity to learn and grasp hold and trust more yourself and your intuition, right? There's plenty opportunities here for your growth. So you can thank that person and say, look, this is another opportunity for me to show up in this world doing, being, and having more than when I met you, right? So I can be grateful for that, right? As well. And when we can muster gratitude, not just for the good and positive memories and emotions, when we can muster gratitude for those as well, for the negative situations that this person also brought into our experience, right? Then that, I believe, is true forgiveness, right? We did a past life regression, and you were able to see in your past life how the lessons are the reason for growth, for greatness, right? And we can honor the people that have been in our lives. We can honor them in a big way, because when we honor them, we honor the spaces and the things that are in us. And that just feels better from the mental standpoint, right? It feels not in a sense of, oh, I'm pushing down my experiences, not in a sense of I'm minimizing the things that this person have done, but in a sense of those things have purpose in my life. Those things create who I am. Those things help me to grow. Those things expand my experience. And an expanded experience in this universe is not just about the fuzzy stuff. There's people that work from the heart space. There's people that pour out into this universe, not just things and items, right? That pour out into this universe the essence of who we are. To expand that in every way allows you to give more into this universe, right? And it also allows you to receive back more to yourself. However, we have to know that that is what is happening. We have to recognize and realize and give credit where credit is due, right? We have to be grateful for these expansions of our experience. Or the universe is going to be like, let me give her more of these negative experiences so she can be grateful for them. Because when she is grateful for her experiences, then I'm going to start giving her more experiences that she can be grateful for. So yes, I think that it is appropriate for us to work towards the healing, because just like when we did past life, just like anytime, something in the body needs healing, when we find out the reason for a thing, right? Because our emotions, our bodies are just warning signals, right? They're just parts of ourselves saying, hey, look at this. You know what I'm saying? Look at that thing, right? Pain is just saying, hey, look at my leg. Look at it, right? So when we find out the reason for the thing within the mind, we don't need the thing anymore. Likewise with experiences and the people that have been in our life. When we find out the reason for them, right? When we can attach to them a purpose within our life, we recognize that we don't need them, right? We are who we are. We're human beings, and we have desires and we have wants, right? But we recognize that we don't need them. And when there's the realization that we don't need them, what we truly do is we want them, right? Wants, we choose how we give that to ourselves, right? Then we realize that it's not them that we want, is who we are when they are around is what we want. And then you realize that I can be that when they are around and when they are not around. Right? So from my heart to yours, I send some healing, and yeah. So as we, so you can get into a space that's comfortable for you, for us to do